we go.
Yeah, Jason, thank you for inviting me over.
Okay. So start out with questions. What is Project Return?
What is Project Return? Project Return is, in certain cities, a prison to community program. In other words, the word you use for what we do is re-entry. It's a program where people re-enter society from prison.
What kind of things do you talk about while community building?
What we talk about while community building is each person's life. There may be anywhere from 50 to 80 people in a room forming a circle, sometimes two circles. And what they talk about is what happened. People who wind up in prison have a story to tell. And the story is mostly about some tragedy or some series, long series of tragedies that have occurred in their lives. Some have told stories of seeing their parents die. That's a harsh thing for a young child of, say, 6 or 7 years old to witness or to go through. And there are thousands and thousands of stories like that. Sometimes it's not one incident, it's a lifelong series of stories like that that the children suffer. And those periods or those events of suffering need to be told. People need to acknowledge them. And when they get acknowledged by other people, and people, you know, kind of hit their chest sometimes and say, oh, I'm so sorry that happened, then the pain from it tends to go away, and a person can go on with his life, get about living his life again.
Do you have any friends who have graduated from Project Return?
Many friends. One who calls me just about every other night to see how I'm doing, to see if I'm up with the current basketball score, or whatever. Some of them are working on my house every day. Today they're working for a contractor that used to hire graduates of Project Return. And my house received a lot of damage from Hurricane Isaac. So some I get to see every day these last few weeks, repairing my house. Otherwise, yeah, I see them all the time, walking down. If I'm walking downtown, I was in a restaurant and had to use the restroom and walked back through the kitchen, and I heard somebody whisper, "Hey, Doc, Doc." And it was a guy who worked there in the restaurant. He was a sous chef by then. He'd been in this restaurant for 24 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do you think participants first thought of Project Return having been introduced to it?
Well, they were very suspicious of us because there have been a lot of programs come into prison that either didn't work or were not even intended to work. So they were very suspicious that we were there just to sort of play with their minds or something sort of subversive, like a lot of them were. But it didn't take very long. By the second day of the 3 years of research that we did, by the second day somebody said, this is for real. These people care.
Let's see. Were there any risks you took starting Project Return?
At first, Jason, we didn't know. We really didn't know what the risks were. We were locked into a room, circle of 55 men that we'd never seen before, that were all doing time in prison. And we thought we were safe, but we weren't really sure. As it turned out, we were probably safer there than we were out on the street. In 20-something years of doing community building with prisoners and former prisoners, there's never, ever been an incident of violence. There have been we've experienced lots of anger, lots of rage, lots of tears, but never violence.
Why do you think your project's success rate was so high, or is so high?
Because we finally got to what essentially was important. Most people think, well, we need to find them a job. Well, that's true. We need to help them with their education. That's true. We need to help them find a place to stay. And all those things are true, but they're not what's wrong.
Mm.
What's wrong is what happened in their lives has never been dealt with.
Yeah.
So they're not ready to move on to a job, even to education. No matter what you're talking about, no matter what they're trying to do for the prisoners, you have to deal with this grief of that they've been carrying around in their bellies all their lives. You've got to deal with that, and then they're ready for anything you want to do, education, jobs, so on.
Why was Project Return canceled?
Well, you have to think about politics, and in particular politics in Louisiana. It can be very illogical. It can also be very corrupt. And some people wanted to take it over and try to make money off of it. They cut our budget, and along came Katrina, and we never got it going again. But that was a little bit of a slight blessing in disguise for me. And that then I got to go to Chicago and start another program, and Montreal, and start another one, and Milwaukee, and start another one. And I'm currently working on one in Berkeley.
Cool. I guess that's it. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, very excellent questions, Jason. Congratulations. That was a great job.
Yeah.